Test 1, 2. We're here. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Feel like we're in a whole different type of situation here. Let me get myself on the screen. All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? All right, let's go ahead and jump in. I think we got some comments. All right, Sharita, Miss Sharita, good to see you tonight. Karen, Brooklyn, New York. BK in the house. Okay. South Carolina, chilling with E. What's going on, E? Thank y'all for joining me tonight, man. It's crazy that we're going to jump into some real estate conversations. It's been I have not done this live platform since starting the channel. So I felt that it was time to get it done and get it started. So we're just going to talk about the real estate market. I'm going to give you my live update as to how I see the market. And then I want you guys to put in your conversations or your questions, and we're going to talk about it. So the overall market health, Atlanta, Georgia. So right now, as many of you know, the market is changing. Things are happening very, very quickly. And stuff is very fluid, right? And Atlanta is no exception to that. But here's what I will say regarding the overall health of the market in Atlanta. Overall, I would say that the market is stable. Okay. Atlanta is not a market that's crumbling. It is not a market that that there's no demand. So with that being said, there are still instances where the market is crazy competitive. Throughout this conversation, we're going to try to have. I want to try to bring that, I guess, give you examples as to how that can be still competitive. Before we get into any of that, I want you to know, let me look up here. That's where you guys are. If I'm looking at the screen, I'm sorry. But real estate is very local. So in every market, things are different. Atlanta is so crazy that we have sub-markets. So depending on where you want to be in the Atlanta metropolitan area, things can sway. It can be different depending on where you want to be. But overall, the market is stable in Atlanta. And prices are holding steady. We are seeing Redfin did release a report that I looked at that stated that the list price to sell price ratios are down. They're like 99.5%, meaning that some sellers are having to negotiate price. But I want you to understand that, that difference between the list price to sell price is only very small. So you're not able to go in and offer, double digits, like crazy double digits, unless you have a unique situation like I've been trying to bring to the channel, which is showing you opportunities, right? Properties that have been on the market longer. Those particular properties are going to have more room to negotiate. But nonetheless, the overall market health is good. Go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. I want this to be dialogue tonight. This is not one of those videos where you can just kind of sit back and watch Raymond in action. I have nothing majorly prepared, but to open up the platform to have Q&A, because my audience, you guys are so great that in the comments, you allow some engagement. So I want to make sure that I create that platform here for that. So let's go back to the comments here. Catherine Smith, hello from Alabama. Hello, Miss Catherine. All right. And I don't mean to age anyone. I'm just used to saying Miss and Mr. So sorry about that if I'm aging you. Shadia Million, finally caught you live. Well, this is the first time I've ever been live on this channel. So I'm glad you caught it. And we're going to try this out on Thursdays. I don't know. But I definitely want to, like I said, be able to be here to discuss this with y'all. All right, Judy V, New Jersey is in the house. Okay. All right, chilling with E has a question. How is the Decatur area? Um, so Decatur is an interesting one. When you say Decatur, are we talking about Decatur City, or are we talking about just anything with Decatur address? But I'm going to answer it as if you're talking about Decatur City. Um, the city of Decatur is absolutely insane as it relates to the level of competition. Uh, Decatur is unique because it's very small. So supply and demand has always been an imbalance indicator. And so typically prices are steady. Inventory moves very quickly in the city of Decatur. It is a very sought after area. Schools are really nice in Decatur. And it's a small city that's doing things right. So if it's the city of Decatur, I definitely think it's a great place to consider. Especially if you're looking for, areas with good schools and overall, good vibes. Oh, let's go back and answer it if it's not the city of Decatur real quick. The outside of the city limits of Decatur is just a different world. Like they're polar opposites. So with that, the school system is not as great, but it's not horrible, right? DeKalb County Public Schools they do have some work to do. They do have some work to do as it relates to performance, but I will always drop the link in the description where you can go and see that report. Actually, let me just copy and paste it right now for you guys. So you can actually go and pull that report yourself and know exactly how to do that. Okay. And you can kind of see the interworkings of every school system. Okay. And that's citywide or statewide. So basically just take out the ccrpi.gadoe.org, or you could just Google CCPRI, Georgia Department of Education. Okay. All right, let's keep moving here. All right, AJ from Albany, New York. Thank you for joining me. All right. It's Sadie. Okay. Is it Sadie or Sade? I'm just getting that all messed up. I'm sorry. Do you know any starters or affordable places for people transitioning from the Big Apple? Affordable place is definitely the term affordable place is kind of relative, but um, I think there are several different areas that are semi affordable. The first area I would say, if it's a really really small budget, maybe looking into DeKalb County would be one of the cheaper price areas. Um, and there are pockets in Clayton County that are not horrible. I did a cons video of Clayton County, but I am going to be doing a pros about Clayton County as well, because there are some good places in Clayton. So I would say affordable place, Clayton County would be like top of mind to me, or maybe West Cobb, like Austell, Lithia Springs, transitioning. What is the best way to prepare moving to Atlanta area from California? I do have a video, I think, about that. The 3 tips of relocating to Atlanta, like the 3 things you need to do. But I mean, the best way to prepare is number one, making sure you have job stability. So understanding what that looks like. Are you going to be transitioning with your current employer? Are you going to be looking for work here? If you're going to be looking for work here, what does that interim period look like for you, right? Do you have enough money saved, etc.? So I would say job stability is number one, and then number two, just looking at your finances to understand what that looks like. Now, if you're looking to buy with your current employer, then basically you would, number one, make the decision to relocate and then reach out to me. You can do a consultation with me. I can put you in contact with my loan officer. We can get you pre-qualified before you even start the process. So that's kind of the twofold answer to your question. Love all the tours and info you provide on the different areas. Well, thank you, Judy. I'm glad you enjoy it. I really do it from a good place, making sure you guys have what you need. All right. Let's keep going here. You're welcome. Chilling with E. Okay, I'm in the baby steps financial stability. So I'm looking for a starter spot with good jobs until I can get better. Yeah, I think one of the things you got to understand, or most people really don't understand about Atlanta, is or the metro. Most of your corporate jobs are going to be in town, right? As you get into these suburbs, they're not independent economy. They don't have an independent economy in most cases. So um, you're gonna have to live a little bit out if you have a lower budget because you can't really afford to live in the city. But most of your good jobs, if you will, are gonna be in town. So have a car. Atlanta is highly, highly, highly car dependent. So just make sure you have that, and then you can, get a starter spot, find a good job closer into the city until you can get better. All right. Hello, everyone from Baltimore, but relocating to Georgia for work in December. Well, thank you for reaching out, or not reaching out, but joining us tonight from Baltimore. I actually closed a client from Baltimore a few weeks ago. So, yeah, be more in the house. All right. Buckhead area. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be Buckhead area. We'll talk about that one. All right. Keely Nicole. First-time home buyer, what is the ideal credit score and down payment that you think someone should have before talking to a lender? I'm thinking 720 and like 10,000. Is that overkill? All right. So credit score 720 is a little overkill. You can get things done much less than 720. I mean, honestly, 740 is considered prime, super prime. But I mean, you can buy a house with 640. Now, interest rate is going to play a factor in the way your score is based. Your credit score only pretty much affects how much your interest is going to be, how much risk that lender is taking on for giving you that loan. So I would say the credit part of your statement is overkill. 10,000. I don't think it's overkill. It just, your down payment is gonna depend on your budget, right? So that's gonna be relative to whatever your budget is. Okay. All right. What about Conyers, Georgia? I'm trying to move there when I retire. All right. Conyers, Georgia is one of those cities that I definitely um have enjoyed visiting. I used to live in Ellenwood. I used to frequent Conyers. It's one of those areas that is, how can I put it? If you don't need a big city and you're okay traveling into Atlanta, I don't see anything wrong with Conyers. I would say my videos are to give you guys a starting point in understanding different suburbs, different areas. So just continue to do your research regarding Conyers, but I think it's a great place to look into. Okay, pros and cons for Canton. All right, Canton, Georgia. Yeah, I gotta work my way up there. Canton is a bit far away from the metro, but it's like on that tail end. I will tell y'all I do have pros and cons of Covington coming this weekend. So if you're thinking about moving to Covington, definitely make sure you watch that video when it drops. I plan to move to Atlanta early next year. Just not sure if I should rent first. Um, uh, First, then buy a home or buy a home right out. Can't even read tonight. Buy a home out the gate. I did a video on that too. Man, I got so many videos. I'm gonna go to the channel. I did that. I did a video relocating, rent or buy. I broke it down very, very plainly, talking about the fact that, in my opinion, ownership trumps renting any day when it comes to the Atlanta market, right? Especially in town Atlanta. Like if you're gonna rent a property in the city, the amount of money that you're gonna be paying for that rent is definitely gonna be more expensive, as if more expensive than it would be if you own the property. And then when you look at the value proposition of actually what you're renting compared to what you could be owning for the same amount, most cases, even with the high interest rate owning still trumps renting in Atlanta. That's how disproportionately expensive renting is in the city of Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta is no New York when it comes to rental rates, but I mean, for the average person and the average income of, well, I shouldn't say average income, but for the average person who are looking to move to Atlanta, typically Atlanta has been known to be a bargain city, right? I think over the last, uh, well, I would say between 8 to 10 years ago, Atlanta was technically a bargain city. Like, you saw those videos and those pictures of these mini mansions for like $250,000, right? And that was the perception for a while. And even now, people still have that same perception that Atlanta is cheap, but it's not. So I would say definitely buy if you're able, if you have down payment, if you have credit score, if you have job stability, it makes no sense to me for you to come out of the gate renting, especially when you consider what you could get if you own. All right. You guys are doing it tonight. I haven't even had to come up with anything off the top of my head. That's great. Keep the comments coming. We're going to run for another about 15-20 minutes. So get your questions in here. So let's get it. Best area for a young family looking for land, but within 30-ish minutes from entertainment, shopping, and city life. Okay, so I guess the land like space in the home, the home site. Um, so a young family would be, and I have to make sure I answering these questions properly without steering you, because I don't want to steer you in any way, right? As a real estate broker and agent, I can't steer you and say this is where you should go. But based on characteristics like accessibility to parks and entertainment and city life, like you identified, um, I would say if your budget is, say, between 300 to 400,000, one area that comes to mind is gonna be West Cobb. So that's gonna be Douglasville. Well, that's Douglas County, but Austell, Mableton. That's an interesting area. It's within that 30-minute timeline of entertainment and shopping. And most of these suburban cities have their own shopping, right? I think I had a call from a young lady about maybe a week ago, and it was like, hey, I don't want to take 30 minutes to get to a grocery store. And I'm like, where? There's nowhere in the Atlanta metropolitan area, okay, that I'm aware of, with the exception of like real rural, like on the outer bands of the metro. I'm talking like way down at Locust Grove, or over as far west as Covington, and as far east as like, well, east as Covington, and like as far west as like Winston or something. Like, you got to get way out of the 40-mile band around Atlanta to feel that you got to take 30 minutes to go to the grocery store. So most of these suburbs have their own shopping. Now, the city life aspect, you're going to have to depend on a bigger area. So, but yeah, I would say that if you have a little bit more money in your budget, say 500 to 650, I would say you could probably look in Peachtree City. That may be on the furthest end of that 30 minutes, though. And actually, no, take out Peachtree City. It's going to be too far. But you can look in Gwinnett County, that, Lawrenceville, Grayson, Decatur. That area is very promising. Well, more so Lawrenceville. And maybe, like I said, the Roswell, Sandy Springs. So I think the more you have in your budget, the more options you have. So if you want to hit me back with your exact budget, I can answer it from there too. All right. What do I think? What do you think is the best area in Atlanta? Wow, that's a big question. I don't know. Being from Atlanta all my life, or living in Atlanta all my life, and being, born here, I don't know if I could just literally say a best area, because there's so many great areas. There's so much potential. It really just depends on what you want access to. So if you are young, if you want city life, I would say living in town or the northern portion, like within say 10 miles ish from the city center of Atlanta, I think that may be the best area if you want that real, authentic Atlanta experience. But if you're not into that and you want just the accessibility to Atlanta, I would always tell people to look south as well as north. But that's a really, really hard question without more context. So sorry about that. I just found you a week ago on the 5 cities in Georgia video. Awesome, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Catherine Smith, I actually study your videos and take notes. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because again, the videos are to be somewhat of a foundational aspect. I want my channel to be the encyclopedia for Atlanta Metro, right? And that's kind of my pursuit. And that's why I'm all over the place. That's why I'm trying to show different suburbs in every quadrant of our city, because I think it's important to really be balanced. So continue to take those notes. I'm going to continue to pump out the content, and I am a resource to you guys here on the ground as it relates to buying and selling. So feel free to reach out. All right. Brianna Lee, do you assist with apartment searches as well? Unfortunately, I do not. I do not deal with apartments at all, nor do I deal with rentals. You know, not gonna sugarcoat it. The reality is, trying to do rentals is very taxing on your time, and the reward for that is very, very, very minimal. And so I try to steer people away and into the atmosphere, into people that do that for a living. I am still trying to find assets or individuals that will help me out with the apartment searches and the rentals. Have not located that person yet, but I myself do not deal with apartment searches. Hello from BK. All right. What areas or neighborhoods in Georgia is actually considered Atlanta metropolitan area? That is a good question. That is a good question, because I used to have to like defend Atlanta all of the time about that. So let me see if I can pull up this thingy for you, because that is a good freaking question. And I have a see if I can get the overlay. Uh, hmm. I sent someone to this link that showed you the entire metropolitan area of Atlanta. And now that I'm live, I can't find it. So if you want to email me, I can send you the link to view that. But essentially, it is 40-mile radius from the city center of Atlanta. So if you did a dot on the city of Atlanta and you went out, and that out kind of created a circle, anything that's in that circle 40 miles is considered the Atlanta metropolitan area. So it's a very large area, and it encompasses a whole lot of geographical area. So, man, I wish I could find that. My goodness, I don't know where I did with it or where I put it. I bookmarked it because I was like, people keep asking me about Atlanta Metro. I'm gonna do a video on it eventually. That's like a part of my things to do. So check out the channel. More to come. All right, where am I on these comments? All right, Brianna Lee, I'm married. Can I apply for a home loan independently of my husband? He is an immigrant with no credit score and doesn't have long employment history here. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can apply. You will have to state that you're married and your husband would be on the deed, but he wouldn't be on the mortgage. So yeah, you can. No problem. How do you calculate your potential mortgage, monthly mortgage based on the house listing price? That is a good question. Guess I should do a video on that too. But essentially, there is a site called Mortgage Calculator. All right. Or you could just Google Mortgage Calculator. I'll show you right now. Let's pull that up. Go ahead and share my screen with you, because this is what this is about, guys. This is why I want to go live. I want to make sure that I am helping you guys. Okay. So when you type in mortgage calculator, you're going to go here and you're going to click this button, include taxes and fees. Right. So this is going to give you your monthly mortgage payment total, right? With your fees and your taxation included. Now, how you find your taxes and fee or your taxes, that's public records. So more videos to come on that, but essentially Google your county. And when you Google, you can Google Fulton County tax assessor or Fulton County property search, etc., whatever. And it'll take you to the property and you can see the last year's tax amount. So Google kind of help you forecast based on uh, where you are, based on your state, and it'll kind of do a percentage based on the state millage rate. So you can kind of use that as a guide, but essentially this is how you do it. So a $300,000 house, let's say for instance you're doing or let's say you're doing FHA, 3.5% down. We're going to do FHA. Right now, the rate, this is the current rate too, by the way. Well, for the credit score. So we'll just say if you have, let's just say if you have a worse credit score, just like I just want to show you the highest. I'm not saying your credit score is bad, but I'm just saying I want to show you the highest. So right now in Georgia, with a 580 to 599 credit score for FHA, you're looking at 6.991%. This is why I told y'all 2 months ago to buy a house. But I digress. But essentially, this shows you that. So your down payment will be 10,500. $300,000. Your property taxes estimated 3,750. Your homeowner's insurance 1,050. Which this number here is always wrong. So I would just go up like 2,500, just to see it. And if you don't have an HOA, this is how much your monthly mortgage would be, 2,684. Okay. So there you have it. All right, let's go ahead and stop that screen share and move to the next question. I liked your Ellenwood, Georgia video. That's great. I used to live in Ellenwood, just moved not too long ago. Love Ellenwood. I miss it a little bit. Thanks a lot for the info. You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome, Brianna. I look forward to hearing from you. All right. All right. I would say lived, I think. Lived in Mcdonough 2 years ago, then came back here to Jersey. Came back home to Jersey. I'll be relocating back out there now. Back now. I'm stuck between buying in either Stockbridge or Mcdonough. How about that? Two of, I always tease with people and I say, Stockbridge is the little sister that could to Mcdonough. They are so much of the same. The consistency is there. I think Stockbridge have a little bit of a leg up when it comes to the geographical location because it's a little bit further north than Mcdonough, and any distance north when you're going down Interstate 75 at 5:30, it really, really helps. So maybe that should be one of the things that I don't know if you have to commute for your daily work. So, but yeah, good luck with that. Set up a consultation with me. I can assist you with the buying process and take you through that process and help you out. Karen, how's the market for 55 plus adult communities? I'm interested in Sun City and Griffin, Georgia. All right. I live down the road from Sun City, so that's cool. I think the market for 55 plus adult communities is pretty consistent with the geographical, like the general real estate. It's a little bit more niche, which means that it typically will have a more of a supply and demand imbalance internally, right? Because there are only so many active adult communities. But all in all, being prepared makes a difference, and understanding how to tackle it is very important. So there's opportunity there for sure. Okay. All right. I am also going to be doing more content on the active adult communities to come. So definitely stay tuned. All right, Michael. Hey, Michael. I think you just emailed me not too long ago. Thank you for joining me tonight. All right. When are you coming to Peachtree City? You hit Fayetteville and Noonan, but skipped over us. All right, Trill. I am coming. I promise you, I'm coming down there. It has been just an enormous amount of balancing it all. But Peachtree City is an absolutely wonderful city, and I am on my way down there very soon. All right, your videos are very helpful. They're full of great information. All right. What do you think of Middle Georgia, specifically Perry? I currently live in Alpharetta. That is so interesting that you even did investigation and know of a Perry, Georgia. But no, Perry is absolutely great. Here's a little known fact. My first YouTube client purchased a home in Perry, Georgia. So I am very familiar with Perry. I used to work down in Macon and Warner Robins before I jumped into real estate long time ago. But I think Middle Georgia is an enormous amount of potential. If I lived closer, I would cover it more. I have took clients down that way who just was priced out of the Atlanta metro market. But specifically to Perry and Kathleen and Byron, I think, and Warner Robins, there is an enormous amount of potential down there. And the home value proposition is just absolutely crazy. Like, you can get a 2,800 square feet house for arbitrary number. We'll say 275, whereas that same house in Atlanta is 375, right? So it's noticeable. All right. So I think it's great. Do it. I work in Perry, so hit me up if you want to take me on in Perry. All right, which town in Gwinnett County is nearest to the Atlanta Veterans Hospital? I'm from Brooklyn. Let's see, that's a good question. I would say so. The VA hospital is in Decatur. So the nearest county in Gwinnett to Decatur is probably gonna be if you geographically, right, I would say Lilburn or Norcross or Snellville. Those are gonna be on the southern tip of the Gwinnett DeKalb County line. Okay, so you can look into those. And I think I got a pros and cons of nope, haven't done Lilburn yet, haven't done Snellville. Just crazy. Like, see, it's so much that I have to do, guys. So much. Why are first-time home buyer programs less favorable to sellers? I would say that it ties up the process, right? Long or the short of it. And when you're working in real estate, I think it's proactive to put yourself in the shoes of the other person, right? In order to get yourself context. So when you're doing down payment assistance programs or first-time home buyer programs, I'll just get specific answering your question on down payment assistance, because there aren't really truly a first-time home buyer program, right? We really don't have that. But the down payment assistance programs, okay? The reason sellers are less favorable for that is because it ties up the process. So that loan, so basically you're doing two loans. You're doing your primary, which is your first mortgage, which is paying the bulk of the house. And then you're doing a second mortgage, acting as, they typically call it a silent second, but that's acting as that down payment assistance. So you have to go through underwriting 2 times. So typically your transaction is a little bit longer. Typically it's about maybe 35 to 40 days on a down payment assistance deal. But depending on your lender, like my lender that I refer to my clients probably can do a down payment assistance loan program in the same duration because of the way that they lay out their process of pre-approving their clients, our clients, etc. So, but the overall answer is because it ties up the process, and then it makes yourself a little bit more vulnerable to things falling apart, because not only are you dealing with one underwriter, you're dealing with 2. And so some sellers just don't want to tie it up. Especially in a seller-driven market. This is still a seller's market. Although things are cooling, things are shifting, buyers are having a little bit more say, a little bit more opportunity to negotiate, but it is still a seller's market. So, but that's the main reason. It just ties up the process. All right. All right. Hello, Riley. Best wishes from New York City. Hey, Miss Pauline. Thank you for joining me. She's a super cool woman. And she's super funny. I enjoy having to come. And I'm waiting on you. All right. Carrie Felton, what's up from Deal Avenue? All right, what's going on, Carrie? I went to Sylvan Middle School. Well, is it still? Yeah, it's still Sylvan. Before they built the new building over there. But thank you for joining us tonight. Legally Joiner, is there anywhere within the Atlanta metropolitan area that would or could be eligible for USDA loans for those of us looking for a bit more land, but still don't want to be in the boonies? Thank you. Yes, there are. There are. Reach out to me. There are some areas, even that Covington area that's going to be coming up. There are some pockets in Covington that are USDA. Now, USDA, just so we can talk about it, is geared towards communities in the boonies, right? So you won't find a whole lot of options. They will come with some driving and some challenges there. So, but we can talk about it and see if that works for you. I was under contract in Bell. Now my house is back on the market for 10,000 less. What would you recommend? Oh my God. Number one, you should have called me. But man, I would need to just have a conversation with you about number one. So your house, now my house is back on the market for 10,000 less. So you're selling your house in Alpharetta and you put it back on market for 10,000 less, or is it the house that you want to buy in Perry? Give me some more context on that one. All right, you're welcome. Preston. All right, thank you. Thank you. We'll definitely reach out when I'm ready to buy. All right. Emperor Walker, what's up? I was wondering, are you ever gonna go back to Noonan and show houses down there? Eventually, yes. Eventually, yes, I will. I just haven't booked any time out there, but yes, I will be back out there in Noonan, Georgia. All right, guys. So we are 38 minutes in. If anyone wants to join me on screen for actual conversation, I will open it up for you if you are not afraid of joining me up on the camera. I know it's crazy. It's crazy scary sometimes, but yeah. You should be able to click that link. I don't know if it's clickable, but if it's not clickable, you may be able to copy it. But if anyone wants to join me up here, you can. I'll be up here for another 10 minutes or so, and we'll close out the night. I just learned that USDA is zero down. Yes, that is 100% true. USDA is no money down. Absolutely no money down. All right. All right. No, I was purchasing the house in Perry, Georgia, and canceled the contract. It was a Dior Horton new bill. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think if your energy and your spirit is drawing you back to Perry, I think you really need to evaluate that and figure out what's in your best interest, right? Are you, number one, why are you moving? And just kind of talking through some of those things. So I think you're ready to have that conversation here on live with me. All right. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and bring you up.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. How you
How
doing?
are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry I look a little crazy right now, but
You're
I
fine.
just discovered your channel a couple weeks ago and I love it, love it, love it. I've seen you do Lawrenceville, Mcdonough, and a bunch of different areas. I'm
Mhm.
fairly new to Georgia. I've been here 3.5 years. I'm
Okay.
looking to purchase a home and discovered Perry all by accident. And for some reason, it's been on my mind for like the last 6 months, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Went under contract, was very close to just doing the walkthrough and signing, and I totally bailed. I got, like, I don't know, I guess cold feet, if you want to call it that.
Right.
Only to find out it went under contract with another family. That fell through, and now it's back on the market for 10,000 less. Brand new ranch, and I'm like, oh my God. And again, my job was in Alpharetta, but I'm a full-time remote employee, so I basically could kind of branch out a little further.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I have a niece who lives in Conyers. I love to travel, so the proximity to the airport and then family is really what has me kind of like the
Yeah.
distance is causing me a
Yeah.
little angst, you know?
How often do you see them in
Well,
in Alpharetta now? How often do you visit?
I would say once a month, maybe
Okay.
every 2 months, if so much.
So with that being said, okay, how often do you travel? How often do you use the airport?
I would say 3 times a year,
Okay.
minimum, minimum.
So, I mean, once a month could be a weekend trip. Do you have any small kids that you got to worry about packing up and getting in the car?
Nope, empty nester, live by myself. Nothing to hold me back, pretty much.
I would say you are a perfect candidate for moving Central Georgia to me because you're not if you would have said, Raymond, I have Sunday dinners, once every week or once every 2 weeks with my family, then I would say, you know what, that's just unrealistic. But once a month or once every 2 months, that could be a weekend trip, where
I
you move
know.
area, stay with family and really enjoy that time without the distractions of having to
Right.
drive back the same day. So I mean, I think that calling and that feeling there may be something to that. Uh,
Okay.
and the fact that it's $10,000 less definitely don't.
I, and my earnest money is still sitting with D.R. Horton. So I'm like, should I call them and say, look, let's make a deal. Let's make this happen because they're
Right.
not making any money if the house is sitting there still, right? It's totally move-in ready. I actually love the house. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Is it
And
is it in the is it in the was it agricultural
yes, the
neighborhood?
preserve. Yep, the preserve.
Yeah, I drove through there. Okay, okay, yeah, I know
It's cute.
exactly where you are. Yeah,
It's
Re-
cute, right?
really, really nice, and I think the proximity to the shopping there in Perry, the Publix and everything is not that far away. So I mean, I don't
Absolutely.
know. I would say we can talk offline, and if
Okay.
you don't have an agent and you want me to make some calls, I'll definitely do that. Okay.
Thank you, Riley. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for. You have any other questions?
Well, the only other question is, should I just make the call, see what they say, and it's either yes or no. That's it. Take
Right,
that chance. And they can either
right.
say, sure, we're gonna do it for you, or I have to continue. And plus my rent went up by 16%. Month to month is gonna cost me an additional $800. So it's like, listen, I have to pull
Yeah.
the trigger. I gotta do something.
Yeah, either Perry or somewhere, but you got to make some moves.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Wow.
I do. And thank you so
Well, good
much
luck
for
with it.
taking my call and,
You're
for
welcome.
answering my questions. Have a good
You
night.
you too. Thank you for having the guts to come up here with me, and
You're
hopefully I
welcome.
hear from you soon. Okay.
Okay, yes, you will, sir. Thanks
All
again.
right. Bye bye. Super cool. Super cool. All right, a few more questions, guys, and we're gonna call it a night. It is 8:45 here on the East Coast. So I would say this, the first Let's Talk Thursdays is going pretty cool. So we're gonna see, we're gonna see how it continues. Okay. Um, we got one more question here from Preston Cameron. Preston says, "Is Brazelton a good I guess place to live?" Yes, I think Brazelton is definitely up and coming. It is one of those areas that people are flocking to. Proximity to Lake Lanier, Gainesville, Flowery Branch, Mall of Georgia. So I think there's some good potential traits about Brazelton, and I'm gonna get up there one of these days. But I would just say if you don't need Atlanta proper, like the city of Atlanta, then yeah, but if you need the city of Atlanta every day, I don't think I would move to Brazelton. But because of the distance, because it's just so far. But if you're not in that boat, then you're good to go. Judy V, when you bailed out of the Perry, Georgia home, were you able to get your deposit back? She did mention that earnest money is still being held by D.R. Horton, so that answer is going to be no. And that's just how it works, guys. If you bail out of new construction, you are on your own. You take the risk of that on your own. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you do everything you can in the onset. Now, some things just happen and it is what it is. But nonetheless, having a great agent will help you make sure that we try to talk through some of those scenarios, right? Before you go into contract and before you give that money away. So, yeah. Don Nunez, New Jersey transplant, moved to Powder Springs, bought into a new development in 2014. Love the area, great neighbors, many new shops and stores. Don't miss Jersey. All right, that's what's up. That's what it's all about. Not having the buyer, not having buyer's remorse is a good thing. If you can buy into an area and feel very happy with that decision after the fact, that to me was a good, solid decision. But sometimes, even if you have to drop back and make another decision, that's okay too. The good thing is to learn something from it. So I'm glad you're enjoying Powder Springs, Don. I think Powder Springs is definitely a up and coming area, West Cobb. And proximity to Marietta is just absolutely great. With the Atlanta Braves being up in Cobb County now, it definitely helps, prop it up. And a lot of people, I don't know if people know, but Powder Springs used to be the home of The Rock. He was one of the notoriously famous people that lived in Powder Springs not too long ago. So very, very interesting place. All right. She's all right. Learned a lot in that process. That's right. All right. In your experience, is it more difficult to buy a house with a VA-backed mortgage loan than with a loan from a traditional lender? I think it just depends, AJ, on the circumstance. I will tell you this: VA loans are perceived somewhat negatively amongst the market. And as a veteran myself, I served 6 years in the Georgia Army National Guard, military police. And so I think it is so counterproductive when I hear agents talk bad about VA-backed mortgages, because the whole purpose of a VA mortgage is a way to say to veterans who risk their lives, who were the true 1%ers, who actually signed up, took an oath to defend and protect this country, to have to go through some of those, opinions and nuances of the VA-backed mortgages, somewhat disheartening. But the truth and the reality of it is that there are some sellers and listing agents that, for whatever reason, they do have a negative condemnation to VA-backed mortgages. So it is, and it could be, depending on the situation, it could be difficult to get a property under contract. But in most cases, you should be okay. With the right agent, you should be okay. But just to be pointed and honest, there is some trepidation when it comes to VA mortgages competing with conventional mortgages. I'll give you a scenario. One of maybe 2 months ago, a month ago, my clients Jeff and Lulu, they actually won a home against a VA-backed buyer, okay, with an FHA loan, which at that time FHA was like topsy-turvy. It was all about conventional, but they actually were able to beat out a VA loan because of that trepidation. So it sucks, but it's a little true. Okay. All right. I am sick of New Jersey. Okay. No down payment with USDA, but it has a 1% fee. I think that question on the 1% guarantor's fee, I think we need to get with the lender on that. I have not done a USDA loan in forever. All right. One of these weeks, I will be bringing on my preferred lender on the Let's Talk Thursdays, and she will be able to answer a lot of those questions as it relates to the mortgage side of things. So let's table that one. Do you have a video on Powder Springs? Yes, I do. Go to the channel and check it out. All right. Yep, I did. I went down into the county. So that video is definitely going to be exciting for you, Judy. Give it a watch. Watch it all the way through. Hit the like button, and you probably already subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, do that too. All right, guys. We got 2 more questions, and I'm going to wrap it up. 2 more questions, and I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank y'all for giving me such an awesome turnout on this first one. Even with 34 of us in here, we've had good conversation. Hopefully you've walked away from this live session learning something new. That's what it's all about. What's the qualifications for a first-time home buyer? I'm going to point you to the channel because I literally started a segment on that. And one of, I think maybe 3 videos ago, I posted exactly this, qualifying for a mortgage as a first-time home buyer. So definitely go to the channel because it is there. Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much again for hanging out with me. Let's try to do it again next week. I will announce on the channel if we are going to do it again next week. But thank y'all for being here, and I will see you on the next video. Upcoming videos. Covington, Georgia is coming up. All right. Let's see what else is upcoming. Yeah, Covington, Georgia is upcoming, and more property tours are coming. We have a $1.7 million listing that's coming up. It was probably one of my favorite tours to walk through. It was absolutely amazing. So that one is going to be coming up. So hang out for that. So more of the tours coming. And so yeah, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see, I got 3 more questions. Let me see, what is the questions? Okay, all right. Thank yous, all the thank yous. All right. Thank you. It's fun, guys. Enjoy. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Hopefully you can make it same time, same place. Yeah.